So Disney is this huge power company, power structure that not only controls the media, but the people that are attached to it. And they use monopoly capital, which is an example of power and dominance, to control and buy out their multiple companies. Disney and ABC Television Group, for example, has an equity stake in 3 different operated media businesses, including A&E Television Networks, Hulu, and Fusion Media Network. Disney ABC Television Group formerly had 30% stake in Hulu, an online streaming video service featuring ABC Studios content, but its control of the company increased by 60% after acquiring 21st Century Fox. Fusion, which is another of Disney's joint ventures, equally held with Univision Communications, the multi-platform media company that's targeted specifically towards Hispanic Americans. Other groups such as ABC, ESPN, Touchstone Pictures, Marvel, Lucasfilm, A&E, the History Channel, Lifetime, Hollywood Records, Vice Media, and Core Publishing are all under this huge umbrella spectrum of what is Disney and who they hold and who they are trying to feed to and make their money and their profit from.
However, despite having ownership in a multitude of other companies, Disney's hegemonic power began even at its very start as a single entertainment company. In a text by Marxist philosopher Antonio Gramsci, hegemony was referred to as the process in which a dominant group aims to win control over subordinate groups in a particular context. In this instance, Disney, as a reflection of our heteronormative society in the mid to late 1900s, normalized social stereotypes. Based on Gramsci's theory of hegemony, we will analyze the strict distinctions between masculinity and femininity in WALL-E, as well as the representation of ethnic minorities in The Lion King.
Hello, my name is Ira Castro, and today I'll be discussing race in Disney's 1994 film, The Lion King. I'll be focusing on the 3 hyenas, Shenzai, Bonsai, and Ed, and how even though they are animated characters in the movie, they're still portrayed as African American. 2 out of the 3 are voiced by African Americans, and all of them are either from the East Coast or from the South. Thus, they have a very different urban way of speaking that is very unique from anywhere in the United States or even the world. They are conveyed as lower class and poor people or animals within the kingdom. Disney continues to do this with their new film that's set to come out in summer 2019. It's a revamped version of The Lion King, and 3 out of the 3 hyenas are all African American. In the second slide, you can see that the antagonists, the hyenas, are often portrayed as very dark and evil. Even when they come out in pictures or clips in the movie, there's always a very dark, gray, scary background, and they're seen as poor and savage. They're constantly complaining, they're seen as very annoying, and they have a very different, almost uneducated way of speaking. Versus Simba, Mufasa, and the rest of the royal family, whenever they're pictured, there is always a very light, happy background, and their fur is even light. They're portrayed as good, high class, and important people. They also are seen as relevant and educated. This ties back to what Ivy said about how children are growing up with these thoughts and are taught to categorize voices and skin colors before they can even create thoughts for themselves or see what the person is like for themselves. Thank you.
Much like The Lion King, WALL-E was another film that Disney displayed hegemony. Although WALL-E and Eve were supposed to be gender-neutral characters, WALL-E took on a masculine role and Eve as the feminine role. The attempt to keep the film gender-neutral is prevalent on the surface, but because Pixar gives specific traits to each character shows that society is used to assigning gender roles. The difference in voice pitches, physical appearance, mannerism, and jobs separate WALL-E from Eve. WALL-E, on the other hand, is a little more on the dirty side, and he does things that are a little more heavy duty, and he's sloppy, while Eve is the complete opposite. She's sleek, clean, has a high-pitched voice, and does handiwork.
Since the start of Disney's popularity in the entertainment industry, the company plays a major role in creating and perpetuating certain values as a public pedagogy for many issues such as race and gender. Disney's ownership in many other franchises have also helped it spread their values onto their audiences of varying demographics. Kids grew up seeing gender norms being practiced on Disney shows and accepted as how society is meant to be. Elimination of gender norms and the featuring of strong female protagonists began appearing since 2012. For example, Brave in 2012 and Frozen in 2013. Expansion of racial diversity in Disney films have began to be more accurately represented such ethnic minority characters through culture and narratives rather than using emphasized stereotypical traits as the entire characterization. For example, Moana in 2016. These changes in how Disney portrays gender and race indicates a shift in Disney's ideology that is most likely a response to a shift in societal ideology. And even though it is a response, it is a strong source of public pedagogy for these issues because the company produces work that perpetrates these values on their widespread audience.